I'm Doug with jerky.com, and today in the test kitchen, you and I are gonna make this garlic mustard beef jerky recipe. All right, let's just jump right into the garlic mustard beef jerky. Now we're gonna start with 2 pounds of olive round. I keep 2 pounds pre-measured, pre-sliced in bags in my freezer. That way, when I make these test batches, I can quickly get to them without having to stop and slice all the meat. So this is 2 pounds of olive round, half a cup of Dijon mustard, minced garlic, soy sauce, Worcestershire, a little bit of water, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, salt, liquid smoke. Now, if you didn't get all those ingredients, don't worry about it. We put a full list of the ingredients down in the description. Plus, we put a link in the description to our blog at jerky.com. There, you'll find the full ingredient list with the measurements, the steps, everything you need to do to make this garlic mustard beef jerky. All right, now all you gotta do is get your hands dirty. First thing I do is I make sure all of the pieces are not sticking together. When I do my pre-sliced bags like that, sometimes you'll see a couple pieces just sticking together like this. If you don't make sure to take time to ensure that none of them are still stuck like that, it might not get proper coverage in your mixing stage. So I just like to pull everything out, make sure nothing is sticking to another piece. Then once you think you've got everything pulled apart, go ahead and just start mixing this stuff thoroughly. Do not half-ass this step. So when you're mixing here, you're looking for 2 things. One, you want all of your dry ingredients to properly dissolve into the liquid. That's going to ensure your marinade has a good, even flavor throughout the marinade. The second thing you're looking for is even coverage over your meat. You want to make sure every single piece of meat gets fully encased in that marinade as you're tossing it. I think I've got this one pretty well mixed up. Then just throw a lid on it and throw it in the fridge. All right, this stuff's been stewing now for about 45 hours. All right, so now we're just gonna get all this laid out on the racks for the dehydrator. Now, if you don't have a dehydrator, no problem. You can make this jerky in your oven. Now, laying this stuff out here isn't exactly rocket science. There's a couple things you wanna keep in mind. You wanna make sure the meat's not folded over on itself, everything laid out nice and flat. You also wanna make sure that none of the pieces are touching other pieces. That way you get nice, even airflow all around the meat, not just on the top and bottom. Then just be mindful of your machine's capacity, how much meat it'll hold. This is a 6-tray dehydrator, and I know I can usually get 4 to 5 pounds fully loaded on here, depending on how it's cut. We only got 2 pounds of meat going on this, so I should be able to get this in 3 trays, maybe 4 trays total. Just know your capacity so you don't run out of trays when you're laying your meat out. Now that it's all racked up, what we gotta do is set your time and temperature for your desired texture. Now I like 140 degrees on this machine. I think that does well, and then I'm gonna start checking it at about 3.5 hours in. Make sure it doesn't get overdone. All right, garlic mustard. This one smells really good. I can already tell, admittedly, I didn't babysit this one as much as I wanted to, so it looks like it may start getting a little too dry. I could have kept an eye on it a little better. This ran for about 4 hours all in. If I were to make any changes, maybe in the future batch of this same recipe, I might drop the temperature down in the last hour or so. It's really not too dry, a little bit on the drier side than I would prefer, but it still has good pliability. It has really good tear, not a lot of surface moisture at all. Overall, it's still pretty good. It's not too done for me at all, so I'm gonna call garlic mustard done. I'm really hoping this is gonna be a really good savory flavor profile, so let's dig into it. It's one of those that the more you chew, the more the flavor comes out. Honestly, the garlic is very, very subtle. It's almost as if that mustard overpowers it. I wish the garlic was a little more prominent. Quite honestly, it's just an okay jerky for me. Personally, I'm a little disappointed in this recipe. I would like to see the garlic be a little more prominent. I think there's more room for improvement on this flavor, but I think it can be a fun one to continue to develop out. If you have any interesting beef jerky flavor ideas, leave them down in the comments. Who knows, I may make your recipe in one of our next videos. And if you enjoyed this video or found any value in it whatsoever, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. We drop new beef jerky recipes all the time, and I don't want you to miss a single one, because the next recipe just may be the perfect jerky for you. Thanks for making this garlic mustard beef jerky recipe with me, and I'll see you next time in the jerky.com test kitchen.